sorry, I forget to turn on my microphone. Oh, sorry, I forget to turn on my microphone. Yeah. Sorry. Just testing my audio. Okay, so today we're gonna solve some of our Amazon demo coding problems. So let's get started, and I don't know if it's going to be hard or easy, but I'm just gonna live stream it and see how it goes. Let me check if it is going live stream. Okay. Here. Yes, we're good. Okay. So we're gonna go with this one first. We notice that remote of the hidden team is tracking this activity. Okay, agree and continue. Okay, let's just start with the instructions. This is the time test. Please make sure you're not interrupted during the test as the timer cannot be paused once started. Okay, I got it. So what do we have to do over here? The team is responsible for maintaining a monetary transaction service. A log file is provided as a string array where each entry represents a transaction to service. Each transaction consists of sender user ID with a unique identifier for the user that initiated. Okay. It consists of only digits with at most 9 digits. Recipient user ID with this thing. Amount of transaction with only 9 digits. 9 digits, 9 digits. Okay. By space separated values. So we have the sender user ID, then we have the recipient user ID, and then we have the amount of transaction, right? Users that have a number of transactions in there. Okay. So we have the log and then we have the threshold, right? Example, the log is this thing, 88, 89, 90, this thing. Threshold is 2, right? So there are 2 users with at least threshold 2 transactions, 99 and 88. In ascending order, the return error will be 88 and 99. Okay. So okay, so we have to make sure that there is no other sender user ID more than 2 in there. Okay. Okay, sample test case 0. Okay, so they give us a logs list, right? That is 1, 2, 50, 1, 7, 50, 1, 3, 20. So 1 is with the user ID, sender user ID, sender user ID, sender user ID. Okay, and the threshold is 2. 177013. Because sample out is going to be 1 and 2. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Only users 1 and 2 have at least threshold is equal to 2 transactions. The return array in numerically ascending order. Okay. So complete the process log function below, right? The function is expected to return a string array. The function accepts following parameters: string array logs and integers threshold. Okay. So we have to, let me just get what is the actual problem, you know? Okay. Go back to the image here. Complete the function process logs in the editor below. The function has the following parameters. Strings with log of n. So logs is the list, right? That donates the ith entry in the logs integer threshold, the minimum number of transactions that a user must have to be included in the result of the string array. An array of user IDs as strings sorted ascending by numeric value. Okay. So we have the constraints of sender user ID, recipient user ID, and amount of transaction contain only characters in range 0 to 9 with non-zero digits. Okay. The results will contain at least one element. Okay. So what they're inputting us, they're giving us 4 first, right? We are iterating 4 times. It's a string. We take the string. Okay, and then 1250, right, is gonna go into the list. Then 1770, then 1320, and then 2217. And then it says the threshold is 2. So we have to check. Okay, so this one exists over here, this one, and 2, right? Separate out is going to be 1 and 2. Explanation. So we have the user IDs of 1, 2, 7, and 3 over here. Like 1, 2, 7, and 3, but transactions, okay. Let's move back over here. This side we have 3 digits. The first one should be the user ID, amount of transaction, but how come they came up with this thing? ID 1273, that makes complete sense that it is 1, 2, 7, and 3. Or maybe because this only user 1 and 2 have at least threshold 2 transactions. The return and the numerical sending order is 1 and 2. Oh, I get it. So 1 sent it to 2, the 50 amount, right? Then 1 sent to 7, the 70 amount. Then 1 sent to 3, 20. And then 2 sent to 2 is 17. So in here, transactions is going to be 4, right? Then we are iterating over the string with 9, 7, 50, 27, 7. So here the 7 is receiving 3, actually 4 transactions. Oh, I get it. So 9 is only doing 1 transaction in this whole thing, right? And then 7, it is receiving from 9, and then it is from 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So we got 4 transactions of 7. 22 got 2 transactions. 33 got 1 transaction, right? They said 3 threshold, then all that follows under this one is 1, 2, and 1. That will be 9, 7, 33. The return array will be 7. Okay, let's go back. Sorted descending by over here we have the threshold of 2, right? So the return value is going to be it's going to be 1 and 2. Okay, so they returned the 1 and 2 because they have this many transactions, right? Okay. I don't have too much time for this thing actually. Okay, so we have a list of logs, right? Logs is going to be a string, right? We're doing that thing. We're done with this thing, right? So once if we go through this thing, you can say okay, 9 sending to 7, 22 sending to 7. So we can just check how many times 7 exists in there, right? How many times 7 exists in there. And then we can say, okay, there are 7 sevens, 4 sevens, then we have 4 transactions of 7. How many times 9 exists? Only 1 transaction. 22 exists 2 times, and then this thing. So what pretty much we can do is just split this thing, and then we can use the count function on this one, right? Okay, here we go. So once we have the count function, right, we can check if the which one are the digits that are. I get it. Logs. For I in logs, right? We have to do is like this is our main list. Actually, just name it count list, right? Which is going to be our list that will store the logs, right? And then once we have the for I in logs, we can do I dot split, right? Split. And then once we have this thing ready, okay, then we have I dot split. Then we can just say x equals to I dot split. Then we can say that for inner in x count list dot append x, right? So not actually the inner. So now will have the list of this thing. If you print the count list, it should give us the okay, that is what we were looking forward to, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, right? So we don't want the last digit. It is the value of the transaction. Actually, we don't want that. We don't want the transaction, right? So we can just say that if the value is, if the list is always 3, right, we can just say like colon to the 0, 1, we can say 2, right? This we will only get the first 2 digits of that list, like this 1 2 1 7 1 3 2 2, right? This is what we were looking forward to. Okay, so 7 is only 1 time. Now we can just improve the from collections import counted, right? Then what we can do is we can just say that once we have that counter function, we can say counter, right? And then we can just run code again to check how we are done. Okay, so 1 exists 3 times, 2 exists 3 times, which is totally not right. Okay, let me just check what we are doing wrong over here. Is that 1 exists 3 times, that is correct. But 2 doesn't exist 3 times. 7 exists 1 time, 3 exists 1 time. Okay. Print count list. Okay, let's just. Okay, the heck, why is this? where 2 exists, okay, that is an actual problem, because so if there is, okay, so if the transaction is done to itself, if 2 is doing the transaction to itself, we'll only count it as 1, right? And to deal with that, we can just say that over here, if x 0 and x1, if x0 is equal to 1, right? So we are just validating that the first index and the second index value is same or not. If it is same, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna loop over the, we're gonna use the same thing, over here, but we're gonna just get the first index of an array. Okay, so instead of 2, we're gonna use 1 over here. Then we're gonna say else, in other case, oh sheesh, else, oh my god, man. Tabs, I hate tabs. No, actually I love tabs. Else, what? Okay, let's do this thing. Now it's gonna work. Else do this thing. Yep, and now we'll have the right list. Okay, here we go. So now we have 2, 2 and 7 ones, right? Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna iterate over this thing, this counter list, right? Counter list. And now we also have the threshold. Remember that. Okay, let's save it as a count dictionary. Okay, and I guess that is count dictionary. Why we're giving it? Okay, here we go. So now we can just iterate over here for sample output should be 1 and 2. Right? For k comma v in count dictionary dot items, right? And once we have this thing, we can just simply check if v is greater than, that is the count number of our k, right? So if v is greater than the threshold, or v is equal to threshold, right? So then we're gonna get that into our, okay, now we just gonna create a string list right over here like this, and we're gonna say if that is greater than the threshold or if it is equal to the threshold, we're gonna add this to our string list dot append of this thing. K, we're gonna add k to the string, and then we're just gonna return return string list. Okay, let's just remove this print statement over here and run the code. Okay, compiled successfully. Let's just run the test codes. I hope it's gonna work. No, it doesn't. Okay, why we are getting this many errors? Use print or log statements to debug why your hidden test cases are failing. What is this thing? Okay, test case 0 is this thing, right? We're getting 4 and then we're getting this thing. We are outputting. string array test case 1, 3. So that means like this should work, right? 777, so we're printing only 7, right? Let's move forward to 2, then we have 1 and 2. 3, 4, 51, 25, 68, right? Okay, string list, why is it giving us, your output is this thing. Why I'm giving this output? This shouldn't be the right custom input. Let's just try with 2 to 17. Okay, let's just try with with that means there is something wrong with our dealing with the whole thing. So 1 is passing, we have 4, then we have 9750 input, and then we have the output. Then after this we just have this thing. 51 is the right input output. 2568, and as soon as it reaches 2568, then our this error. There is something odd about these numbers. Okay, return a string list with this thing. Okay, so do we have to sort it or no? Whether it is the same result with that thing, right? So okay, test case 11 and 10 and 4 and this. Okay, now 11 is passing the test. What if we just so we are sorting this thing 3 to 1, so we got 2, right? So we're gonna 2 and 3. So we're gonna sort based on this 1 and 2, right? Append integer k, right? We have now a string list of integers, right? So before returning that thing, we can say that we're gonna map the list, right? And we are appending that over there, and we're gonna say sorted string, which is not a string list actually, right? So sorted string list is going to be a. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna say b to be string x for x in a, right? And then we're gonna print the return b. Okay, run code. Should work. Yes, we got it. We got it. Really? Let's just submit this one. Okay. We got the first one ready. We did it in like how much time? Okay, let's do the second one. Amazon would like to know how much inventory exists in their closed inventory compartments given a string as consist of items this and closed compartments. Oh sheesh, I need to drink water. I'm gonna come back ASAP. Uh,
और तू ही मेरे दिल की रज़ा है, तेरे बिना दिल भी खफा है। तो तेरी आँखों का काजल ना फैले अब कभी भी, तुझे इतना प्यार दूँ। तेरी खुशियों की खातिर ये दुनिया में मेरी एक पल में वार दूँ। अब बिखरी तेरी ये जुल्फों से आंखें तेरी जब दिखती हैं, दिखता है मुझे वो आसमां कि खोलूं पंख मैं मेरे, उड़ जाऊं मैं, खो जाऊं मैं इस आसमां में पतंगों की तरह। जा
Okay guys, we are back now. Let's just solve this one problem now. Okay. Amazon would like to know how much inventory exists in their closed inventory compartment. Okay. And then okay. So closed inventory compartments given a string. Oh, we have 59 minutes left. Given a string S consisting of item this thing and closed compartments as an open and close, an array of starting indices, start index, and an array of ending index and indices. Determine the number of items in closed compartments within the substring between the two indices. Okay. Item is ASCII decimal 42. Okay. A compartment is represented as a pair of pipes. Item between them. Okay. So this is an ASCII decimal 124. Star decimals 1 1 and indices 5 and 6. Okay. So 1 and 1. This is a string. Okay. The string has total 2 closed compartments. Okay. One with 2 items and one with 1 item in there. For the first pair of indices 1 5, the substring is going to be this thing. There are 2 items in a compartment. For the second pair of indices is going to be 1 6. 1 5 and 1 6. So it's going to be 0 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 4 5. 1 6 and substring is going to be this thing. So there is going to be 2 plus 1 3 items in compartments. Both of the answers are returned an array of 2 plus 2 and 3. Okay, so complete the number of items function in the array below. The function must return an integer array that contains the result of each of the starting indices, right? So first they give us 1 1 and then we give us 5 6, right? So we have 1 and 5. It's going to be 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 5 is an index. Okay, there are 2 items in there in a closed compartment. Okay, 0 1 2 3 4 5. It will be 6 item, right? And then now we have 3 compartments, right? 2 compartments and 3 compartment function. Complete the number of items function. That makes complete sense to me. Okay, and so this string started with this thing. So now we have to make sure that the substring that we are checking and we have to make sure that this thing is surrounded by pipes. So if there is a pipe around in there, right? So we can say, okay, we have one item in the apartment, right? So string this one with this and is one index 3. Start indices. There is no compartment. Wait, sorry. Sample input case 2, we have this string, then we have the start index, and then we have the end indices. Okay, and that so start index is going to be 1 and it is going to be 6. So 1 through 6 is going to be this thing. Now we have to make sure that this there is 2 approaches that we can use. One is the regular expressions, and the second one is that we can loop over the string and check if there is a asterisk. If there is an asterisk at the start, we're not gonna count it. We're just gonna pop it, and then we can reiterate over the string, check for the first pipeline, because once we found the pipeline, then we can start counting the number of items in that string. Okay, and then if it ends with a pipeline, then we're gonna add 1, 2 to it. Okay, but I need to make sure that we don't have as start index and end index, right? Okay, S is going to be, this is our new substring, right? Let's just assume this is our substring with S of the start indices, and then we have our end indices, right? And indices over here like this. Now let's just print this thing and check. Okay, one code compiled unsuccessfully. Okay, oh, so we have this thing. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We have the string in there, we already have the string, but now we have to get the st index count, right? That is gonna provide us with the start index count. We're gonna convert it into an integer. Then we're gonna say for, okay, so we can just say that start indices is going to be this thing, x for x in range. In range, then we have the start index count, right? Okay, here we go. So we have two of these things. The same thing we can do with our end indexes. Okay, right, but it's just okay. Let's just print our now we can print s start indices, and then we can say end indices. Okay, this should work now. Okay, as you can see that it is not working. Where we are returning 0 because our, okay, so if this thing is 1, then we are entering 1. Then if this is 3, 1 to 3 is going to be 0, 1, 2, and 3, right? So that should return us this whole thing. Okay, no. Start indices is not, is a list itself. So we have to get the first digit of that list, and we get the end index of that list 0. Okay, okay, that thing is not working. So start indices that is our list, right? So int input, we got the one input over here. Let's just make sure if they are. Oh, we don't have to do it. We don't have to do this whole thing. We just wasted our time. This probably is gonna take some time to solve. Let's just go down. Okay, now we are getting this thing, right? So expected output should be 0, but we are getting this thing pipeline with this thing. Okay, so what we got over here is 1 and 3, right? So with this thing, 0, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know, something wrong is with the code that oh yeah, this is perfectly fine. Okay, once we have this substring, we can iterate over this thing, right? And then we can look for our first pipeline. Once we have that pipeline, right? Once we have that pipeline, uh okay, then what we can do is we can start counting the asterisks after that, right? And once we have those asterisks, okay, start counting the number of asterisks after that, right? So, and once we get another, like, we can add that count to it. Item count, right? Now we can say for I in for I in as if I is equal to this pipe, right? Then we can say, okay, we probably need this thing. If s of I is going to be this thing, then we're gonna check. So this is from where our first compartment is gonna start, okay? If s of if I is equal to s, this thing seems a little complicated. Okay, so we got this thing, then we're gonna check. If the next thing is this thing, Okay, from here we can use a while loop that no. We cannot use a while loop here, or maybe we can use it. Right. That sucks. Oh. Okay, so this thing seems to be like if s of I, then we're gonna check. Okay, we can use the regular expressions for this thing. Okay, so that thing seems to be perfectly working fine. Okay, so is that there is a pipeline behind the pattern, right? They're checking if there is one, or you're consuming the pipes instead use look around, right? So okay, there can be other approaches too. Okay, what if we have the we first need to figure out how we can solve this thing. You're consuming the pipes instead use looks around. To split the string, use a pipe as a delimiter. Okay, we can this can be our regular expression if there is an asterisk regex. Oh sheesh, we don't want this thing. Regex for the okay. We need to find that to check if something exists one or more than one time, causes the to match one or more repetitions of the preceding. Okay, we are looking for just the asterisk, right? So asterisk plus seems to be working fine, and then this thing should be surrounded by pipes. Okay, then we can say that a is equal to this thing, import re, then we can say that read or find all a in our string, which is going to be this thing for now. Okay, let's go over here. We have print debug output should be this thing. Your output is this thing. Okay, so we have got this thing. Let's just use a backslash with this thing to okay, let's just check how they are making expressions. Okay, we'll match A, M, or K, right? To match literals inside a set preceded with a backslash, right? So for example, both this and this will match for match a parenthesis, okay? Okay, if something exists one or more, okay, specify directly m copies of that thing. Okay, we don't want to use this thing. Okay, this is okay, so matches the start of the string, and in the multi-line mode also matches immediately after each. So that means matches at the end of the string but just before the new line. We don't want to specify how many copies we need for this thing, right? Escape special criteria permitting you to match characters like this, and that, so forth, or signals. Okay, used to indicate a set of characters in a set, right? So we can just add. Okay, from here we can say that this thing seems to be fine, that there is an asterisk and that asterisk must exist one or two times, right? One or more than one time. Okay, that should work fine. Re.compile. Okay, the pipe characters re.compile Batman mobile. Okay, so Bro, I want to search for a pipeline in a string. Okay, let's just do this thing. Backslash this thing with a pipeline. Backslash this thing with a pipeline, okay? Where is that output format? Let's just return this thing. Oh, that is backslash asterisk plus. Yes, we are here. Okay, so we give them this thing. Now if we give them this thing, Oompa Loompa. Okay, your output is nothing. Your output is 0. That means if we got this thing, you can just say return length of this thing, right? Okay, so oh sheesh, runtime error. Okay, so int object is not iterable. What do you mean find all? That should okay. Read find all this thing, right? So let's just remove this with this thing. Let's say that we have this as our string. Okay. Let's just go with the pipeline, then a string pipeline, string pipeline, string. Okay. So we got this thing. Expected output should be she should be 0, right? Your output no. Okay, let's just do this thing. Copy paste this thing. Insert your regular expression over here. Okay, so your regular does not match the substring over here. If you just, okay, causes starts with how to escape in regex, right? Oops, my mic. Escaping the regex string, right? With that thing, okay, r backslash, anything that comes with a backslash. Okay, oh no, we have to go with the forward slash. Okay, that thing starts with this thing. Okay, let's just start with simple thing, right? That starts with a string, right? And then how we can escape this thing? Okay, where the irregular does not match the subject string. Okay, that thing goes with the backslash asterisk that exists more than one time, and in the start we can, oh wait, now it's matching, right? And that thing should start with an asterisk. It should end with an asterisk. Okay, so Okay, now we need to check that how we can like escape characters. You need to write this for EA and this for this, but it supports raw strings. Okay, let's try with the two backslashes. I hope it's gonna work. Go back over here. Okay. Oh, now we're getting it. Just go back over here, put it in the raw string. We run the code. Okay, now we're getting it. Read dot input with this thing, right? Let's just replace it with our let me just return the type. Okay, return code, return type should be a runtime error as returns a list of strings. Each string element is a magic substring. Okay, so that makes complete sense to us, right? Once we have that list, right? And okay, this thing is going to be a little complicated. We have the pattern now. Okay, for the first pair of indices of substring this, there are two items in there. Okay, I'm done with this. Now let's just finish this thing. It's okay. So we got two lists, right? And then we can just zip off with them in start indexes. And then we can say end indices, right? Then we can say, okay, we have A in here. Can we iterate over a zip? Okay. We got type zips. Okay, for in this thing, then we can say over this thing and this thing, right? Okay, makes complete sense now. We can convert a list into a zip into a list, right? This is the indices. Okay. Now we can say that for I in A, right? Now we can check if we have our string S with I of index 0 and I of index 1, right? This will be our indices of the string. Then we can say read dot find all of this pattern in this string, right? Now we're gonna check how many patterns we can find in that list, right? Oh, we've been doing the stream for 1 hour. Okay, let's just go back to our problem over here. We don't have too much time for this. Okay, we got our list in a zip with start and ending indices. We check the pattern on that substring, and we're gonna check how many are the matches in that list. It's going to be ls, right? And over here we can again check for the count of that list, right? Let's just assume, say, count over here is going to be 0, right? Okay, so we got a read.find all with this pattern, and then this is going to be our list, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say yay dot join this list of strings. It's going to be our string list, right? Then we're gonna say for I in string list, we're gonna say that if I equals to a string count plus equals to 1, and once this loop is done, we can say that count array. Then we're gonna add that count to our count array. Okay, dot append count, right? Once we are done with this thing, we can just return our count array. Compiled successfully. Your output and expected output. How come this is so fast? We did it. Oh sheesh. Then we can only find this thing with this thing. एस्ट्रिक एक हो या उससे ज़्यादा हो, right? But we need to, why we are not matching this thing, like the whole match? Python. Okay, then we have the this input is going to be test case 1. It's going to be 1, then it's going to be 1 to 6. So it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, right? So it's going to be from here to here, like this. So let's just think how much. Oh, it is only matching for 1. It can exist more than one time, and if you okay, that seems to be a problem over here. Group this thing. This thing exists either one or more than one time. Okay, we are low on time now. We are low on time. Let's just try with this thing. Okay, we were near, right? But okay, last some characters are like this, and our special characters that stand for classes or ordinary characters, right? Repetition qualifiers with plus minus or this thing cannot be directly nested. This avoid ambiguity with non-greedy modifier this. Caret. Okay, starts with this thing, ends with this thing, and then okay. Okay, it starts with a pipeline, and then it starts with an asterisk that can be one or more than one time, and then it ends with an okay, that is going to be a read.find_all function though. Okay, so we are looking for this thing that is going to be plus plus this thing, but it can be anything if you don't know what it is, right? So let's just pull up this thing, Sublime. Sublime, we need you right now to work more faster. Over here, comment it out, go down all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Okay, copy this function in here. Okay, just forget about copying the function. Read or find all, we can say this thing, this thing. Okay, that starts with an asterisk, that ends with an asterisk. That exists more than one time, then we have ending with an asterisk, right? So we can say pattern is this thing, and then we can say that it ends with this thing. Okay, we are only looking for the search for all matching patterns in regex. Okay, find iter. Okay, that is what I'm saying, that it should start with this thing, but find all pattern returns an iterator or match object, right? Find pattern, this thing should be 0 or not 0, right? But we can go with, oh yes, this should be. How come it came out with this thing? No, we don't want this thing here. Okay, once we have this thing, we can okay, we got this thing, then we can say no, that is not an optimized way of doing it. Okay, that should be okay, this is, we're good with this thing, right? But it is not repetitive, right? That means that it should start with this thing, right? And then ends with an, Okay, now we are low on time. I don't think so we'll be able to do it on time. Because once we are done with this thing, we found our first pattern, right? And we can just do this thing, that once we have our list, right? We gotta read out find all of this thing from here, right? With this thing, so we can say that we can get unlimited. We need more consecutive, and this thing is getting boring now. Wait, so we got this thing. This thing is getting to this. Nothing, right? Okay, let's just do it one more time. So we have an asterisk that is save all of this thing, right? And then we are looking for more than one asterisk. That means we are getting this thing, which is totally fine. But then we want this thing followed by this thing, and we're getting all of these, right? So what is wrong with when we add? What is wrong with it when we add one more of this thing like this? But it should give me here we're getting 3 2 2 1, right? But as soon as I add this thing should be not okay. Okay, it can be end with anything, right? Okay, we are having a problem over here. Okay, I guess that is enough for today. We're gonna work on this one tomorrow for sure. But yeah, I'm like we did like 1 hour. Yeah, we did solve just one of the problems. Let me go back to my email over here. Okay, so find the correct compiler. Okay, what about trying out a demo first is optional. Okay, we can do it one more time. Oh wow, they said it was a coding demo. Oh, I got it. Okay, we're gonna solve. Just forget about it for now. I guess we're gonna solve in our next stream. Okay, bye bye. Take care, guys. Take care. I have to. Bye.